Critical hit Punch All Nazis takes place in the early days of World War II and combines high adventure with cosmic horror. All dates, locations, and historical events are thrown out the window in order to create a fun story, so don't put too much thought into historical inaccuracies. All accents are done poorly, but with love, and no disrespect is intended. You are all on the train, chugging along at a pretty good pace. You have searched the cars and found all the artifacts and everything. You have also found the ones that Sally Armitage specifically asked you to find for her and no one else. But there's still one more thing you haven't found.
What's that? Is it the flute?
Well, no, we weren't looking for the flute here. There's lots of things we haven't found, but presumably there's something else in here. Let's see. Luminary Diary, we found that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Diary of Stephen.
We didn't find that.
Nope, you
Or
found
did
that.
we? Okay.
Map with artifacts and entrance to Carcosa. I think we found a map, but
I've
maybe
not
it
found
didn't.
that quite yet.
Okay.
Okay, so that...
We found Das Necronomicon. Did we find Odin's Curse?
You did. It was on a scroll.
Right. Did we find the Grimoire of Nihal?
Naralthotep?
Okay.
Yes, it is a crusty tome.
Okay.
Black with yellow pages.
So yeah, it looks like all we're missing is the map. So I guess if we're jumping right back into that scene, we'll look for the map.
Yeah, you're looking around for the map. Monty comes up and says, "Hey, come here, you guys. I got to show you something." And he leads you into his in his little office area at the front of the car. And on the wall is a map encased in a really large frame hanging on the wall. It is a map of Europe. It is a very old map, probably 1500s, and you can see. Even though the ink has faded over time, you can still see some red markings here and there scattered throughout the map. These Nazis are way ahead of anything you guys are into. The Black Sun knows where all the artifacts are at and what they are, and the last transmission that was received before, and he looks at you, Blisco, before you cut the cables, they were on their way to St. Petersburg, but they've been running into some kind of issue, something holding them back and keeping them at bay. And then he points to a country or a region of the map that you would recognize as Romania. Nazis already took over Romania, but for some reason there's this town right here, and sure enough, there's a little red dot right there. It's called Ivaskoke, I believe. I don't know. It's weird language. They seem to be leaving the Duke there alone. That's where the artifact is that controls the weather. And then he points to a place in Germany. Hard to tell exactly where it's at, but this is where they did the ritual. This is where the gateway to Carcosa is. My understanding is that orb that you guys have been looking at.
Mm-hmm.
If you look through it, it's pointing you always to this location. And presumably, once you cross over, it'll point you to where the Key of Solomon is at.
We have the orb and they don't have the orb.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
Listen, we're about to pull up and unload some of this stuff, but you guys got to get out of here quick. The things that Section M doesn't know about and Majestic doesn't know about is that the Black Sun and the Noctwolf are at a truce. That's why you saw those guys with the plate guns. but they've got some crazy technology that is part magic, part science. I don't know. Kind of like that lightning gun you have, Blisco. But I think they have a way to teleport to different locations. That's another way they're moving their troops around so fast.
Oh.
So my suggestion is you tie me up and you guys get the heck out of here now. Not with the train, because they're going to come right for this train.
Sure. No, we know that they had been, at the very least, squabbling, if not actively trying to undercut each other.
Yeah, the Black Sun is all about dark magic and trying to control these gods. And he puts in quotes and he's waving his hands around like, oh, they're trying to control these gods. And that's how they believe that they're going to win the war and gain Hitler's favor, is by bringing a lot of these gods and monsters forth to help conquer the world. Nachtwolf, on the other hand, believe in science and using, I don't know where they're getting their technology from or their advancements from, Atlantis. And he laughs at that. But that's where a lot of this weaponry is being derived from. So you've got magic and science competing against one another for Reinhardt's attention and for Hitler's attention.
Maybe we can, as we go, try to make that wedge a little wider.
I don't think that this is going to hold for very long, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Let's tie you up. And do we know where we're supposed to meet? Like someone for like an extraction?
Yeah, that was interesting. They never really talked about that too much, except that the resistance was supposed to take you somewhere where you will be extracted, presumably all the way to the coast where you could catch a boat. But if what Monty says is true, you may not be able to make it to the coast.
Okay.
And the engine slows down and the train stops and you hear a truck outside pull up. And then, doors in the back and the front open up and you can hear people rushing on to the train.
All right, let's grab this.
Who wants to punch Monty the most?
Let's just tie him up.
Yeah, make sure you tie it up tight because, and he looks at you, Blisco, because Valentino needs a little help on his right hook.
All right, I'll
Yep.
I'll hog tie him.
Okay, on the bed, hopefully.
Just like fully practiced.
Yep. He's laying down flat on the bed. This'll do. And the door opens to the cabin, and there are resistance fighters. They've got kerchiefs over their face and caps pulled down low, and they have guns. We are unloading the inventory as fast as we can. And Monty's like, don't unload all of it. Make it look like you guys didn't know what you were after. Yes, good idea. We will take the big gun, too. Yeah, great, kid.
All right. As soon as you guys are able, we need to try and get out of here.
And at that moment, you notice at the end of the car, the air start to shimmer. What is that?
Down.
And you start to see coming through what looks like an armored tank coming through the portal, but it's in the shape of a man. And you hear Monty just say, don't just stand there, run. And the resistance guys just grab whatever they can, run out the door, and hop into the cars and start driving away.
Map, let's go.
We run. Do we have any type of photography equipment? Is there like any type of portable photography equipment in case we, like, I don't know, had the map explode or whatever?
Did you bring any photography equipment with you?
Yes.
Well, you lost it when you fell out of the plane.
Did they take the map?
No, they grabbed whatever they could carry out of the holding storage. So they've got at least a truck full of stuff.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm taking the map. I'll break the glass and roll it up.
Okay. You have a rolled up map. You have a bag of books. and something horrible coming out of the portal.
Let's run.
You book it out of there as quickly as you can, and sure enough, the trucks have left. They just took off without you. You are in the middle of the French countryside somewhere, and you can hear some shouting on the inside of the car in German as Monty screams, "Come help me! They've taken a lot! Come on! Help me! Get me untied! These horrible Brits and these stupid French!" And he says some other things that are probably not appropriate for young listeners.
Yeah.
In the way far distance, you can start to hear the sound of fighter airplanes approaching as well.
Oh, dear Lord.
All right.
See if we can find another cheese truck.
Yeah. Do we know where in Provence we are?
Yes. You are in Vichy portion of France at this part. So, for the fact that the Germans are coming over the line is this stuff is very, very important to them. So you would be close to the French-Swiss border. You're probably 100 kilometers from the Swiss border, and Romania would be, quite a ways away. I mean, it's still closer than St. Petersburg. But there is Switzerland. You are probably, what is that? European sizes are so weird because in Kansas, we're used to Kansas being the size of Great Britain.
Yep.
So I would say you're probably 200 or 300 miles from the French coast and the Mediterranean.
Okay.
And Switzerland is neutral, in theory, correct?
I mean, if you held all of Nazi Germany's money, would you want to invade that country and have them burn it all up?
I'm just saying, if we enter Switzerland, we aren't immediately.
Oh no, Switzerland was never involved in.
Yeah. France is not close to Romania. I mean, except blah 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 Europe.
Right.
So let's try to get to the coast and see if once we're there we can up something that'll take us to, I don't know, Serbia and Montenegro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how are you going to do all of those?
Figure out which direction the coast is and start heading that way.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to pull out a compass and figure out which way is south, and you can start moving that way. Unfortunately, the map that you took does not have modern cities on it.
Right.
So unless the city, and of course it is being France, there's probably not, anything on the map that you have that is easily pointing you to a city nearby. But if you start marching south, after about a day, you will come to a small city, and that's about 25 miles that you have covered. And from there, you could hop a train to the south of France.
Once we're in that city, about to hop a train, I will make contact with Section M and let them know the status of the mission.
Okay.
That we're probably, as advised, we're just heading straight to, what was the city name?
It's like
Ivaskoke.
Yeah, Ivaskoke or something like that. Somebody that is from Romania can let us know the proper pronunciation.
I wonder if...
So when you contact the Section M, Rodrigo, they seem relieved and happy that your mission was successful. They're sorry that you didn't get all of the artifacts off of the train before the whoever, Black Sun, Noctwolf, showed up. But both Sally Armitage and the Brigadier both kind of agree with your assessment that maybe heading to Romania is probably a good thing.
Okay. I'll see if they have if they advise that we maybe try to find someone who is allied to us to offload the books and map that we're carrying, or if they think it's a better idea if we just hang on to them.
So that part of the conversation is a little weird because the Brigadier doesn't seem to understand that you have other books that the resistance fighters didn't. And Sally seems to be very embarrassed and also concerned that you have books that the resistance group didn't unload. And she is trying to pass off like maybe you guys were in such a rush you didn't have the chance to get stuff on a truck.
They literally left before we were off the train, so we weren't able to get them everything we had.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Well, you said you had a map. That's probably the most important thing that we could get. And then you hear buzzing and clicking and clacking, and eventually they come back on the line and they are like, okay, so it appears that we do have somebody in the south of France, but we can put you in contact with Gus Marsh Phillips, and he can take the books off of your hands and perhaps even provide a bit of an escort to the coast to get you into Romania.
So in the south of France, like the big ones are like Marseille and Nice. Like Nice is, I think, close to Monaco.
Yeah. Why don't you go to Monaco?
Yeah. Okay.
And yes, you will notice they will be on a boat and they will be under deep cover, appearing as tourists on a fishing expedition. Let's see what the name of their boat was called. Yep. So they tell you that you need to go and find Gus March Phillips in Monaco, and that will he will be able to relieve you of those books and try to get you, at least he can get you to Greece or Bulgaria.
And we want that?
Bulgaria is right next to Romania.
Okay, because I was thinking for some reason my brain is like Greece would be the opposite direction.
Nope.
Okay. I don't know from Europe.
France is the Atlantic coast and Romania is landlocked. Well, not landlocked. It's on the Black Sea next to the Ukraine.
Yeah. Look, I come from a square state in the middle. I don't know from
so Serbia.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. We'll keep traveling.
Very good, very good. Good luck. Unfortunately, I wish we could provide you with more equipment or resupply. We will see if Gus March Phillips has weapons that you might be able to borrow.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Goodbye now.
Bye.
God save the Queen.
Yes.
No, you.
Huh? Now you?
You first. You first.
Yeah, but God save the Queen.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Toodle pip.
You hang up first.
Yes, and toodle pip to you too.
Finally, somebody who speaks decently.
I know, right?
All right. So I'll finally hang up on the Brigadier.
Okay.
And
back home, he turns to Sally Armitage. It's just a little game we play.
Okay. So we are going to head for Monaco. If there's a train that'll take us there.
Yeah, there's a train. It'll get you there by the next day.
Okay.
Is there anything you guys want to do or think about while you're on the train?
Definitely grab some supplies before we get on the train. You know.
Oh yeah, like some clean clothes, maybe some bandages, a first aid kit. Yeah.
Dried meat in case we end up out in the wilderness again.
Yeah. People look at you funny when you try to buy any kind of a bratwurst or sausage.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing is, as you continue to travel south, it does get much more pleasant as far as the weather. It's not as cold and dreary as it was in the northern part of France. And now that we are definitely into mid-April, it's starting to be very nice. So yes, you've resupplied. You have medicines, new clothes. All of that cost you new clothes, medicines, supplies. Cost you 100 monies.
Cool. Do we have a new first aid kit?
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay. We are out
We're
of
able to
money.
get a break.
You're out of monies. That's not good. You get a break.
Or a rest, whatever it is that
Sure, you're on the train.
stress.
Like I said, it's going to take you a day to get down there, and so yes, you guys can clear off whatever stress you have, unless you have some fatigue. The fatigue is going to stick around because you're not able to get an extended long term rest of several days. So fatigues will stick around, and mental scars will stick around. So Blisco, every time you see a rope hanging off of a curtain, to pull the curtain back and keep the window open, kind of freaks you out a little bit because first you think it's some kind of tentacle or snake thing.
Is this the sort of train that has a cabin, or is
Yeah, it's got like a sleeping car area that you guys can sleep in. You guys used up most of your money, so you aren't getting first class accommodations here.
Sure, yeah.
Fortunately, we were able to fill our pockets with cheese.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you just looked around the passenger car, everybody has a pocket full of cheese.
All right. Yep, we'll ride the train and try to get some rest, but
Okay.
maybe still maintain shifts out of paranoia.
Yeah, and that's understandable. There do look to be all manner of different people here. Some people look rough and tumble. Some people look like they may be refugees that have escaped into France and are now trying to get as far south as they can, being very concerned about even being as close to Monaco, being as close to Italy as it is. And you do see some people that look like ne'er-do-wells. There's definitely a fascist or two on the train, but people tend to just kind of leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, you are able to eventually reach the beautiful city of Monaco.
Last time we were here, it was with
Clark Gable.
Clark Gable.
Yep. So yeah, you are familiar. You're familiar with the city. You are, and the country. Yes. You are able to look around. You do know that there seems to be some kind of military presence around in some way, shape, or form, just because as close as it is to, to the ocean, certainly to potential close to Italy, right? So yeah, it's pretty tense. I think everywhere south of France is tense right now.
Like any of this extra intel we gathered would be safe for light reading?
Yes, probably not the Necronomicon. You've been warned to stay away from that because that one does look pretty spooky. The Odin book is something in Norwegian that you are not really sure exactly what it says, but it looks to be some kind of a spell to control lightning or bring down lightning. The what else did you guys grab? The Book of Noraltotep. Just that one looks like such a crusty book with yellow pages that even just touching it gives you a weird vibe.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it damaged.
One of those.
Yep.
The worst kind of books.
There is that one on astral walking, though, that you picked up. That one seems rather interesting in that it is giving you meditations and not really spells, but meditations and guidance on how to leave your body when you sleep and travel to other planes. If you guys hadn't been through all of these adventures, Valentino, you would probably write this off as some kind of new age mumbo jumbo stuff, some enlightenment stuff. But in light of everything that you've been through, there might be some truth to this.
Does it have a silver key symbol anywhere on the book?
Maybe Blisco should read that one.
Okay.
He told us all
pretty
about
dense.
his dream.
Here, Blisco, learn how to astrally project. Okay.
Oh,
Talks about
it's a pretty
visiting
dense
places
book.
in dreams. I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you on dense reading?
Blisco has most of an engineering degree.
Okay.
Like,
All right. Yeah, this definitely has steps and ways to do things, but it's like talking about chakras and aligning your middle chakra with the polar alignments, and there's supposed to be some kind of a weird chant that it has that you're supposed to repeat to yourself like a mantra as you're going off to sleep. And it does say things like, if you do this for 3 to 7 years, you may experience a moment of waking in a dream where you are on another plane. But as it continues to go on, it has taken some masters decades in order to master the ability to astral project.
what does it say the chant is?
You can't decipher it, Doc. There's a lot of apostrophes and weird glottal stop sounds that don't really make a lot of sense if you were to try to speak it. And even when you try to think it, you can quickly develop a headache.
One of those books. Careful with those, Blisco.
Okay.
Books like that made me the man I am today.
I see. Blisco continued just kind of casually going through this, but
yeah,
when it mentioned the 10 years aspect of it, it's like, it's probably not helpful.
It does talk about, if you're truly a master, you can master this in weeks, but the lowly person will only be able to master this in 3 to 7 years. And it talks about bumps on your head. It talks about the number of bumps on your head can help you determine whether you're a true seer of being able to ascend to the astral planes.
Even I don't believe in phrenology.
I mean, this is a book from, the 17 and 1800s. So, Carlos, there's a book in your pocket.
I'll pull it out.
Hey, look, it's the King in Yellow. How'd that get in there?
Oh,
that's weird. Pretty sure I got rid of that, but since we're here,
are you going to read it?
I mean, I guess this book is pretty insistent.
Yeah, sure. So it is a play in 2 acts, and it is about the city of Carcosa and the changeover of the queen and her handmaiden. I don't know. It gets really weird because Casilda is either the queen, the handmaiden, the queen's lover, or an assassin. Each time you get to another passage where Casilda enters and does something, you have to stop and go back to the beginning and start reading again, because it seems like, wait, here it seems like she's the lover of the queen. And then you'll go back to the beginning and start, and it's like, no, it seems to be that she's a handmaiden, just a plain handmaiden. And then further in the book, it's like, no, they're talking about her maybe being an assassin. It's very, very confusing. But the thing is, there's a big festival coming up because the queen is insistent that she is going to be in charge of all of the great city of Carcosa, the city on the lake. And unfortunately, the true king, the King in Yellow, is coming. Everyone's talking about the true king. The King in Yellow is coming, and he will take over. But that's not going to happen until the second act. And the more you read, the more confusing the story becomes. And if you would, please take 3 mental stress. You can soak up any that you have.
Okay. I'll soak 2.
By the time that you get to your destination, you are just so confused about this book. It seems interesting. It seems like a weird play to try to put on, but it does not interest you as someone who has been to many plays and to many theater performances. This is something you probably would not finance if someone came to you to try to invest in this.
Right. I'll put the book away.
Okay.
We're like, man, that was confusing. It's like that He's like Thomas Jefferson in the second act.
Mm-hmm.
Different character.
It is weird.
Oh, Pierre.
But you do feel like you've picked up a little bit of knowledge about Carcosa.
Yeah.
It is a city on a lake. And,
city on a lake. Was ruled or overthrown by a lady.
Yep. The other thing that you did remember picking up is something about two suns.
Suns with a U or suns with an O?
Yeah, suns with a U. Welcome, my friends, to Monaco.
Hello, thank you.
Where would you like to go?
We are looking for a boat.
Oh, yes, and he points down from the train platform, and the city just kind of goes downhill all the way to the ocean, where you can see all sorts of boats docked up there.
Okay. We'll look for the boat.
Okay, so you hop into his little pedicab, and he huffs and puffs you guys all the way. Fortunately, it is downhill, so he doesn't have to do too much huffing and puffing. And you arrive down on the docks. And after a few moments, you see a boat. It looks like a very nice boat. It's a yacht. And you can see that there look to be like 4 kind of unsavory characters on the boat.
Do any of them match the description of the person for whom we are to be looking?
They never gave you a description. They just told you to find Gus March Phillips.
And the maid of honor.
Yes, that was the name of the boat. Hello, gentlemen. May I help you?
Yeah, we're looking for a Gus March Phillips.
Yes, that's me. You must be Carlos Arbogast.
Yep.
Well, welcome aboard. I hear you have some things that we are supposed to take back to the HQ.
Yeah.
Good. Well, welcome aboard. And there's a guy that is, oiling a big machine gun right there on the deck. And another guy who looks like a Swede who, boy, this guy looks like he's going to murder people with his bare hands.
Oh.
And as you board the boat, there is another guy that looks maybe a little less stable than Doc.
Hurtful.
He's our explosives expert.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. Well, as soon as you get aboard, and get stowed away, we can be off. If you don't mind, we might need to sink a boat or two on our way.
Yep.
Mind, we insist.
Yeah.
Very good. And the boat starts up and pulls out of the harbor, and you guys are in the middle of the Mediterranean and somewhere between, what is it? Is it Corsica? Is that
Corsica? So the closest island would be Corsica, and Sardinia is below that.
Yeah. Okay, so as you pass between Corsica and Italy, there are some shenanigans on a little tiny island off there where you are engaged with helping the crew of the Maid of Honor to blow up or at least plant explosives on a couple of German boats. And the 4 members of the Maid of Honor seem to be just having a joyous time blowing up anything Nazi related. And then you continue on your way, and there is one more boat that you guys blow up just off the southern coast of Sicily, near Malta. And then eventually they take you to, I guess they only can take you as far as Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Oh, that's about the Turks.
It was a fantastic adventure.
Oh, nice.
But you do understand that these guys are like Murder Inc. These guys revel in just killing Nazis.
Chaos and destruction and killing Nazis.
Well, good. It's good to have some of those on our side too.
Yeah. They've even heard of Badger and his commandos. They're in awe of that, but they like to get their hands really, really dirty.
Have they heard of the Fighting Gobblers?
That's you, right?
Yeah.
Good. Nobody should. We are secret.
Uh-huh.
I
Well,
mean,
I wouldn't be
if they,
shouting it out like that. And of course, you look around, and the streets of Istanbul are just packed with
With
suspect people.
Istanbulians.
Yep, and also probably some German spies, some Italian spies, some American spies. Istanbul is just crawling with spies.
Now we just need to hop on the Orient Express back north, and that should take us through Bucharest.
Does it? I don't know.
I don't know. No.
If you say so, if you say so, then great. I'm pretty sure that the Orient Express goes east through Turkey and into Russia, and then to India or wherever it goes to.
Istanbul, we can probably just find a boat across the Black Sea to get to Romania.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a great idea. Good job, Blisco. You are able to find on the north side, on the Black Sea side of Turkey, you are able to find a steam captain that is willing to take you, although Romania, he's not so sure about. He would be more comfortable taking you to Georgia or the Ukraine, but he's just hearing all sorts of things about Germans and Nazis taking over Romania and causing all sorts of problems there.
Can you just get us as far as close to the Romania-Bulgaria border as you're willing to?
I tell you what, I will take you to a little tiny town right on the border called, I don't know if this is an actual town or just the name of the road, Vamavici.
Okay.
Somebody in Romania listening right now is like, that's just the name of a road, you moron. Nope, it's a little city. It's a little city, Vamavici.
We're losing. We're just rapidly losing all our Eastern European listeners.
Veche. And this group of people seem to be even more unsavory than the crew of the Maid of Honor.
Wow.
These guys, it would be a good idea that you keep one eye open when you sleep and keep your possessions with you at all times. Let's see.
Sleeping in shifts again.
Yeah, how about everybody just roll a, insight plus observation, a D1 for everybody. Let's see if you guys lose anything.
Oh, that's just me.
I mean, this is an unsavory group of people.
Yeah, but I mean...
That's a D1.
Would instincts be an applicable focus on this?
Well, but you... because you want another success?
Sure.
Instincts? Sure.
Oh, fuck.
Sure. So, you got 2 momentum.
I can help some of my allies out.
All right.
Oh, my God.
So, all right. So, Blisco, you wake up in the middle of the night and you hear somebody rummaging through a bag underneath where you're sleeping. And you don't really realize it at the time, but by the next morning, you realize that the book on the astral walking has disappeared. Carlos, you wake up in the morning and you find that your copy of The King in Yellow has disappeared.
Easy come, easy go.
She'll be back. Yeah.
Doc, you happen to be up on watch that night, standing outside the cabin. And you're looking out across the sea, and of course the moonlight shining on the water. It's all very nice and tranquil and quiet. I don't know if you smoke cigarettes. Maybe you're smoking a cigarette. But
maybe half a can.
Yeah, there you go. You are just standing there when suddenly you feel a blade up against your neck. Don't move.
Joke's on him. I lost all my stuff when we landed.
What are your plans? What are your plans in Romania?
Want to meet a nice girl? Maybe settle down?
I think you are a Greek spy.
I am an American, sir.
An American spy, even worse. And he spits on the deck of the ship. You can go and sleep with the fishes tonight. And he shoves you off the boat into the water. Now, fortunately, the boat has stopped for the night because this is such a cruddy old boat that trying to go in the darkness, even by the moonlight, is not a great idea. But there is a bit of a current that is slowly pulling you away from the ship. Please roll me an athletics plus agility, D2.
Okay. What's our momentum situation? I think I would like to burn one, if that's okay, so as not to die.
That seems reasonable.
I think so. I mean, we've managed to keep me alive for this long.
Ooh, only one success.
Nerd rocket.
You try to swim, but your clothing, your jacket, and everything are really getting bogged down with water. And it's becoming more and more difficult for you to swim and make it back to the boat.
What if I had some fortune?
I mean, you can't apply the fortune after you've rolled.
Well, I know, but I could do something after I start to drift away. I mean, like,
well, that's what you need to decide what you're going to do.
Okay.
But right now you are floundering in the water, and you grow weaker by the moment.
I'm drifting and floundering.
Fortune to make a fact about a helpful dolphin coming along.
I don't know if there's dolphins in the Black Sea.
Yeah, that's a line in. We didn't start the fight.
Yeah. There is Black Sea bottlenose dolphins.
There you go.
Oh, Brian, you're the best. Yeah, I think Black Sea bottlenose dolphins see me and they want to save me.
Well, they certainly want to check you out. I don't know if they want to save you, but you are going to have to burn a fortune to create a truth that you are rescued by dolphins, or at least a dolphin comes up to you and it's poking you and swimming around.
I am kept from drowning at the very least.
Okay.
How does that sound?
You are hanging on to a dolphin.
I'm hanging on to a dolphin.
Doesn't really like it very much, but
do you think that is the dolphin moving?
I mean,
is it like trying to swim?
It's swimming there with you, yeah.
Is it trying to swim away? Can I kind of direct it back towards the boat?
You can't direct it.
Like the Beastmaster? Just like
do you have animal training?
Now that you mention it, what's that under?
Survival.
Let's say no.
Okay. Yeah. No, you can't guide it. It seems to think that you're funny.
I do have science, and I remember reading a book that bottlenose dolphins, specifically the Black Sea variety, can be steered by grabbing their dorsal fin.
Yeah, they don't like that at all. It pushes you away, and now you're floating back in the middle of the water.
Fine, I'm going to try again to swim back to the boat.
I mean, you're overboard on a boat in the middle of the water.
I'm going to call for help.
All right.
Man overboard.
Immediately that you do that, there is a light that lights up on the deck of the boat and shines down and sweeps the area until it finally finds you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear some people yelling and screaming. And Blisco, you wake up and go out onto the deck, and you see Doc is in the water.
No. There any safety equipment nearby?
There's a life preserver right there.
Grab a hold of it, grab the rope, and yeet the life preserver at the near Doc.
Yeah, you don't want to hit him with it because those things are pretty hard.
Those things are actually really hard.
Yeah. So yes, Doc, it lands there right in front of you, and you were able to splash over and grab it. And then Blisco, are you trying to pull him up, or are you just watching?
Once I'm sure he's got a good hold of it, I'll start to pull him towards the boat.
Okay. And two other deckhands come rushing up. Two other members of the ship's crew come rushing up, and they're helping you pull him up. And they finally get Doc up on the boat, and the captain is walking over, and he's like, You must be very careful at night. The deck can be slippery, and you can fall into the ocean, obviously, and that could have been bad, very bad. There are things in this water that are not good.
Thanks for the warning.
But at least
Do I see?
But at least you have all of your arms and all of your legs.
Do I see the gentleman who chucked me overboard?
Oh, no, that guy came up behind you. You would have no idea.
So I have no idea what that person looks like.
No.
Bummer. Well, I hope it wasn't the captain who threw me overboard.
I don't think so. He seems pretty nice. He took the monies that you had. You got some monies from Gus, and he was happy to take your money and ferry you across with his cautions and concerns.
Wasn't trying to kill it.
No.
Sure.
I mean, if he wanted to kill you, he would have killed all of you and taken all of your monies and trinkets and weapons.
Just hit us in the head with an axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's cool, but sure.
Well, it's cool that he didn't kill us with an axe. That's what I'm saying. All right. Well, I'm going to try and either get changed or dried or whichever is all
right.
quicker.
Very good. Takes you a little while to change out of your clothes. You take your wet clothes and hang them up by a string. The drip, drip, drip of the clothes hit you in the head, Valentino.
The string freaks out Blisco. It's a bad scene for everybody.
Get you back under, get you tight or dried off.
Yeah, so you get a towel and you help dry dock off.
I am going to try and make sure that I remember that voice. And if I hear that voice again.
Okay. All right. Very good. Do you go back to sleep or are you so freaked out that you stay awake all night?
I'm going to try and sleep, and I'm going to, take the James Hetfield advice and sleep with one eye open. I'm certainly not going to get, hypnotized by the wonderful romanticism of the sea again.
Okay. So the rocking of the boat does help you fall back to sleep. The next thing you know, it's morning and there's a lot of commotion when the group of you wake up.
Uh-oh.
What's going on?
You go out and you look and everyone is at the bow of the boat and they're all crowded around something that's going on up there. When you approach, they kind of part and you can see that there is a man who's had his neck slashed.
Ooh.
And he's lying dead on the boat. And this isn't a clean slash across his neck. This is like a jagged, like somebody used a serrated blade on this guy's throat to cut him open.
Ugly.
Yeah. And it's still fairly early. The sun is just coming up. The deck is still wet in places. And you can see some footprints on the deck. And these are not human footprints.
Well, what do they look like?
Well, if you look at it, you would say that these kind of look like the footprints of a frog. But these are like human-sized footprints.
Does it look like they were walking or hopping?
Oh, no, it looks like they were walking. You can see 3 distinct steps as something was coming onto the deck right where the body was at, where you see that body.
Do they walk off?
It's hard to tell. There's been so much commotion with all the other bodies that those are the only 3 footprints that you see.
All the other bodies?
Well, the body that's on the ground. All the other people that are moving around the deck, checking out the dead body on the deck.
Oh, I thought you were telling us there were multiple bodies.
Funny you should mention that, because also at that moment you hear another screaming from the other side of the boat.
We rush over to see.
And you see that the cook is lying dead on the kitchen floor, the galley floor, I guess is what you call it. And he has apparently burned himself with hot oil all over his face, like melted his face and he died from it. It's clearly self-inflicted.
Is he dead?
Yeah. You're as a doctor, even though you never graduated medical school. You can tell
Right.
that this guy is dead.
Under the pretense of checking for any type of life signs, I'm going to check his pockets and see if he has maybe a stolen book that might have driven him.
Yeah, sure enough.
to-
You search his body, and right underneath his back, where he would have fallen down, you reach under there and you feel something, and you pull out a book titled "The King in Yellow."
Hmm.
It is Carlos. At that moment, you realize that your book was missing, and now it is found again.
Oh, there's my book.
Your book? What do you mean?
I had this book.
Did you give it to him?
No.
Did he steal it from you when you got into a fight and killed him?
No.
Then what is going
I
on?
like showing my hands. I'm like, how would I have grabbed a hot pot of oil and hugged him and pulled it onto his face?
Mm.
This is clearly self-inflicted. Look at the angle of the oil.
Yeah. Listen,
Yes, and you can see it not thrown. It's like he literally took a big, like a 6-quart pot of boiling oil and just dumped it all over his face.
It sounds like he may have stolen from my friend and felt so very guilty that he had to punish himself.
You see several of the men crossing themselves and uttering things and crossing their hands and praying. And the captain is like, "We have stayed too long here. I warned you." And he looks at you, Doc. "Bad things are in the water. We must be off immediately. Immediately." And he starts yelling orders, and everybody just scrambles because whatever it is, they want to get the heck out of here as fast as possible.
Hey guys,
I'll make sure and get Dutch his book back.
Yeah, Dutch will take it and put it in his pocket. Everybody, check your stuff to see if anything else is missing. I'd hate for any portals to get accidentally opened.
Yeah, Blisco, you can't find the astral walking or astral projection scroll anywhere, book, whatever it is.
Yeah, the dream book I was reading is not with my stuff.
Okay. I'm going to talk to the captain about it.
All right, so the captain is there in the whatever it is, the cabin, the main cabin where you steer everything from. The steering cabin.
The bridge.
The bridge, yeah. That's it. You find the captain on the bridge, and he is yelling at like his first mate, and the first mate is arguing back at him. It is in Turkish. I don't know if you speak Turkish, Carlos.
Depends how much momentum we have.
Yeah, I mean, you have, what do you have? 1 momentum?
Then no.
Okay. It's pretty clear that they are arguing about the situation, and the first mate looks at you and he kind of crosses himself and he says something to the captain, and the captain yells at him and has his hand raised, like the back of his hand is pointing towards the first mate, and he's shaking it at him, and the other one is like, "Fa!" And he walks away and he bumps into you rudely as he exits the bridge. "Ah, Mr. Arbogast, I apologize for that. Sometimes you have to get a little intense with your first mates."
Sure.
They are very superstitious lot, and the events last night, the murder of the crew, the death of the cook, the strange prints on the deck have got them very frightened. We are going to have to push on very, very quickly, and as soon as we get there, you need to depart very, very quickly.
And we will, but we're missing a book. I'm afraid a member of your crew may have taken it. However, it might be easy to get it back if we continue to play on that superstition.
Yes, that's a good idea. I will ask around. We make so little money now that the war has broken out that even the goods that we ferry through the Black Sea do not pay us enough. And so some of my crew, I don't know who, I couldn't say, but some of them probably have to use their fingers to procure other ways of making money. And I'm sure if you're missing a book, it's probably a very valuable book.
It's an old book, only really valuable to certain people.
Perhaps he thought he could sell it once you got to Romania.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had a little money to maybe loosen the grip of the book from their hands.
Hmm.
That might help.
I'll get out some of the money that we got from
Yes,
Gus.
you got 100 monies from Gus, and it seems pretty clear that maybe 10 monies would be a good bribe for the captain.
Okay.
And he holds the monies up to the light and kind of snaps at it. Yes, this should do nicely. Thank you. And he tucks it into his breast pocket. Unfortunately, we're going to have to be on rations for the remainder of the trip. I apologize for that. Unless you know someone who can cook.
No,
you are our passengers. We can expect you to do work. And he slaps you, and he kind of starts to escort you off the bridge.
Would cooking be a skill that falls under our skills?
I don't think so. Let's look on here.
Because I'm good at pharmacology. I bet you.
No,
it's kind of the same thing.
Like I can do something with all those moldy potatoes.
Exactly. Well, I'm also a toxicology specialist, so I can tell you what'll poison you.
Imagine it'd probably fall under survival.
Yeah,
with the other stuff that's in survival,
which none of us are good at.
But it's fine. It's weird. It's weird. The food that gets handed out throughout the next 2 days is like military rations, like German military rations. And these are not. I mean, these are a cracker and some hard tack meat stuff. It's pretty bad, but that's what you guys have. None of the crew seem happy.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Nobody here speaks Turkish at all?
Nope.
Okay. If you'll hang on a second.
Because don't you have something, that, Rodrigo, that
so I do. I can spend I only need to spend one momentum. So I'll spend a momentum to basically be able to figure out Turkish.
Okay. So you spend that momentum, and you, based on all the other languages, you can kind of piece together pretty quickly that everybody on this deck is freaked, or I guess everybody on the deck is freaked the heck out. They think that some bad magic has come aboard the ship. They want to blame you. You overhear 2 guys whispering at one point that maybe it would be a good idea to throw all 4 of you off at night just to be done with you. You hear other people saying that this is the curse that has been befallen on the crew because of somebody named Christian, who has done a very bad thing recently. Apparently he's a member of the crew. Maybe he was the member of the crew that was murdered. It's hard to tell, individual names. They don't wear name tags. But somebody named Christian has done something very bad, and this is karma or God or whoever getting back at them, and they need to figure out a way to make this right. You also hear a word that it sounds like something you should be able to understand, but it's such a weird word. You hear them talk of the Migo are now restless and angry because they didn't give an offering or something. That you hear 1 or 2 guys talking about an offering to the Migo. And
I've learned about the Migo.
Have you learned about the Migo? What do you know about the Migo?
They're like outer realms critters.
Yeah. So it seems like the Migo are something in the water, because you see the people, these 2 guys dumping like food supplies, not like the rations that you're eating, but like the regular food the cook would have been cooking up. You see them kind of dumping that off the boat and hoping that the Migo will leave them alone.
Okay. After dinner, I'll convey that to everyone else.
That's
Hey, Valentino, anything in your book about the Migo?
I haven't seen anything about Migo, have I?
No, you haven't seen anything about Migo. You have seen the word Yith pop up though once.
Oh, have I?
Yeah, you know that the Yith are these somehow taking over people's minds.
No, unfortunately, I haven't came across any Migo information.
Okay. Well, I know that I've seen the name before in some of the books that Sally has. So, um, the crew is really freaked out. They are going to probably start throwing people overboard at some point if things keep going badly. So let's try to keep an eye out. And if anybody, if any of the crew comes at you, or rather, let's try to always stay in pairs so that we're
It's a
not.
buddy system.
Yeah.
Yeah, correction, Rodrigo. You are correct. Migo, that are some kind of an alien creature.
Mm-hmm.
These guys do say Migo, but they're still throwing stuff off.
Yeah.
Boat.
This is the oceanic Migo. I'm familiar with the Riparian Migo.
There you go. So yes, one more night. You probably all sleep with your backs towards one another or up against one another. And the next day you make it to very early in the morning. You make it to the small city of Vamaveche. And they put you into a little boat, ferry you to the shore, and as soon as you guys are off the boat, that little boat turns around, and you've never seen people row faster in your life to get back to their boat and get out of there.
Bye, thank you.
To Romania.
Yay.
So the town that you are looking for is, I want to say it is north of Bucharest in a little mountain area. Let me find it. It's by a lake. I don't see it, but it is north of Bucharest. Let me just put it that way. And it's a small town. But you can definitely tell in this city that there are Nazis walking around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
All right, let's try to make our way to Bucharest as quickly as possible.
Okay. How's
the train situation looking?
How does the train situation look? This little coastal town is too small to have a train station, but there is a bus that will take you up to another city where the train can take you to Bucharest.
Okay. We will.
And it's a little rumbly. Yeah, it's a little rumbly bus, and it's smelly, and it has just a lot of people on there. There's a goat on there, and at one point you stop at a checkpoint, and a German comes on to start checking everyone's papers.
Okay.
Papers, please. I must see your papers. He's standing right in front of you, Valentino.
Yeah, and hand him the papers we have.
Okay, he looks at it. Are you from French? Are you from the good France or the bad France?
Oui, yes, very bon.
Le français bon.
Yeah.
I'll
go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just give him a little Nazi salute, just like hand up a little bit.
Very good. And he goes on and he harasses some more people on the bus before sending you on your way. You eventually make it to the town that has a train, and you're able to get on a train to Bucharest. While you are on the train, you can find a map, and it is this little windy town. It's like, if you can find a car, you could get there. The roads are not going to be good. You may end up having to take a horse and cart, but you can tell by looking at this map that there is a small little town, and there is a castle in this town. But it's gonna take you a ways to get there.
To the castle or the town?
Yeah, to the town where the castle is at.
Oh, okay, and that's where the train is?
No. You are already on the train to Bucharest.
Oh.
You have found a map of the area, And you can see by the map that you guys have, the little tiny town where you have to get to, where there is a castle.
Oh, okay.
It's way out in the middle of the wilderness, like bad roads, carts, maybe some horses, whatever. So this thing's kind of up in the mountains.
Well, it is spring.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the Carpathians are beautiful this time of year.
Critical Hit Punch All Nazis is a production of Major Spoilers Entertainment and was produced and edited by me, Steven Schleicher. If you would like to get a behind-the-scenes making of this episode, be sure to check out the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition at our Patreon page, patreon.com/Major Spoilers. Each week I discuss my plans for the upcoming game session, and Dr. Brad Will is there to share his reactions and advice on how to be a better game master. I will warn you, though, there are spoilers galore in every installment of the GM Roundtable Octoon Cthulhu Edition. So, if you don't like spoilers and don't want to know what I am planning next, don't listen to these episodes. Though, I will say, if you do listen, you'll be able to see how and where the players throw a wrench into my plans, and you're also going to have greater insight into the world that's being built into this campaign. Finally, we want you to record yourself doing your best on Critical Hit and send it to us at podcast@majorspoilers.com, and your voice will join the growing chorus of fans in upcoming episodes as well. Thank you again for listening this week, and here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.